the show for real estate entrepreneurs.
So to me, I think there's a 4-step process that you can actually use, and I'd love for you to walk you through this. This is the core of my book. It's called the hero method. The hero method is how do you make the client the hero? And if there's anything that you take away apart from Oliver's good looks in this appointment, in this meeting, right? If there's anything that you take away, please take away this. How the client became your client is more important than the fact that how well you did for them when they are your client. So for example, just because you sold their home for over $100,000 they're asking, they do not remember. They do not remember. Like I will guarantee you, you quiz your clients, they do not remember how much money you saved them in your request for repairs. They do not remember how much money you got them over asking. But how they became your client is a super powerful process. The listing appointment is a super powerful process. The lead generation is a super powerful process. The nurture is a super powerful process. So there's a 4-step process. We should very quickly. Number one, let's take a very simple lead. A lead comes in on your website. The first thing they should get is what we call a context bridge. A context bridge is they're just going to get a random email, but they have no idea who you are. They have no idea who Oliver Graf is. So you need to say, hey Sharran, thank you so much for registering on our website. I know you downloaded the 5 ways to increase the value of your home. Thank you so much. Right? Now they're like, oh yeah, I did do that. He followed up on that. That's awesome. That's the context bridge, right? And the next email a day later is, hey Sharran, I just want to double check. A lot of times people re-email me again and say they wanted like the 7 ways to do that. I just re-included that. This is just as a courtesy. Thank you so much. Here it is. Now what you've done is they're like, oh my gosh, Oliver's such a cool guy. Yes, I forgot that email because I made that email go to scooter32@gmail.com. That's why, because we all have the third email address. Yeah. Now they're like, yeah, I should probably mark this guy as whitelist and listen to this guy because you were thoughtful. That's the context bridge. Now, what everybody does is they take that lead and they put them to 10 days of pain and nobody knows who this person is. And they're like, do you want a meeting? Do you want a meeting? Do you want a meeting? Do you want a meeting?
You're calling it 10 days of pain.
But that's what it is. That they call, which is
totally
amazing, right?
Yeah.
So the second one, right after you do the context bridge, is what we want to do is I call this the urgency loop. The urgency loop just means, so in our 5 years of testing, there is something called the 10-10-40-40 rule. 10, if you take a normal distribution, 10-10-40-40. 10% of people want to engage with you and talk to you right now. 10% of people never want to talk to you. Never. 40% need time and 40% need education. 80% need time and education.
Really good.
Now, the best part is this. 10% want to do something right now. I want to put a framework in place to activate that 10%. And the entire job of what we call the urgency loop is to activate that 10%.
That's great.
Right? And so we have come up with an artificially intelligent sequence of 11 emails in 7 days, with 11 touches, in 7 days, that dramatically activates that 10%. Right? And so now I go through the context bridge. I'm like, hey, now I got this urgency loop. And if you don't respond to that, I know that you're not in the 10%.
Right, you're not ready now.
No, so now you're one of the 90%.
Okay.
Now, I see if you're into, now I can't fix time, but I can fix education. Now I say, okay, now is Oliver, do I have to teach him more about this? So I call the third step of the process, the story ask. The story ask.
Story ask, okay.
So you say, hey, I want to tell you about my client Sharran. My client Sharran did XYZ, ABC. If you are anything like my client Sharran, the one thing that he told me was that he would have just had a 15-minute strategy conversation before he did anything. And as a commitment to Sharran, I want to do the same for you. It's a 15-minute no obligation strategy conversation. Just click the link below. Right? That's a story.
Yep.
So now I'm like, oh, now I'm thinking I should probably call my agent and ask this agent and ask this question, right? So you've got the context bridge, saying who you are, the urgency loop, figuring out who the 10% is, the story ask, figuring out who the other 40%. Now we have the other 50% left. And the last one is called the Goodwill River. Now you have no idea what else to do. So what you do is you hit cadence. Every Wednesday, every Thursday, every other week, you're dripping on them with a VIP list, with something of value, something thoughtful.
Right.
But you're staying on the cadence. What you send them is not important. When you send them is more important. So you're always there every week.
Consistency.
Every week. Like I write an email a day right now. My email, I send 1 million emails a month. I write 1 email a day, right? And so I have the permission to be in my subscribers' inbox every single day.
Right.
I can ask them for whatever I want because I'm not going to do it in a...
And they're okay with that.
They're okay with that.
Yeah.
And I have actually skipped a day once because I changed AM to PM in my distribution. And I got like hundreds of emails back saying, what happened? Did you take me off your list?
Why am I not getting
Why am I not getting this, etc., right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this again, and when my book comes out, we'll post it, but it's the context bridge, the urgency loop, the story ask, and the Goodwill River. And the entire Kingston Lane, what we call it, the beast. Like we just say, hey, our job is to feed the beast, and the beast will spit out appointments. So when we feed the beast, we go through context bridge, urgency loop, story ask, Goodwill River, and we keep staying, and we do it all for you so that you don't have to do it and you can be out there serving your clients.
So these people, when they're part of your system, don't need to worry about any of that?
Nothing. They don't even need to log into their CRM.
So what are you calling this? Is this a software or is this a CRM or what do you refer to it as?
We refer to it as a system. We call it the revenue systems.
To listen to this full Founders Club interview, go to foundersclub.tv.